Hello, good evening. I am here at the Cooper Mountain Nature Preserve in Beaverton, Oregon, going for a walk. It is a little bit after 9. It's only the summer solstice was just a couple days ago, and so it's extraordinarily bright out for 9 o'clock, a little after 9 o'clock. I was thinking about, I believe it's 1 John, maybe chapter 1. There's that verse that says, test the spirits. And I apologize, I don't have a copy in front of me. I'm going to get some of the text wrong, and I might have the address wrong too. It might not be in 1 John. 1 John, where it says, test the spirits to see whether they're from God, because not every spirit is from God. Many false prophets have gone out into the world, and so you test them. And the ones that acknowledge that Jesus is the Christ and has come in the flesh are from God, and the ones that don't acknowledge that Christ has come in the flesh, those are the ones that are not from God. My daughter and I have had ongoing dialogue with Mormons, LDS folks, as well as some Jehovah's Witnesses. Christian offshoots. They, much like Islam, they take Christianity as a basis, but then they change it. They change some of the doctrines, they change some of the truths, they change some of the core beliefs. And it's interesting to me that these Christian offshoots, they always seem to follow a couple patterns. They always seem to, I'll explain them one by one. First, Jesus is always something less than he is in Christianity. He's always less than God incarnate. He's always less than a part of the Trinity. He could be the Son of God, but only the Son of God, less than God. He could be the firstborn over all creation, but he's still God's first made. He's less than God. He's not equal with God. He's not one with the Father. Another difference is that these groups will also deny the Trinity. Trinitarianism makes Christianity what it is. It's unique in the world, entirely unique in the world. And these groups, these offshoot groups, will always be Unitarian. They will never be fully Trinitarian. Muslims radically so. So you minimize the Trinity, you minimize the nature of God. Something else that they do is that they will then minimize the Bible. They will take from the Bible, but then reduce it to make it something less than what Christians believe it is. And then they'll replace it with another book. An example, Muslims will love the Bible, but not every part. They will reject the parts that disagree with the Quran, the book that they elevate. LDS folks, Mormons, will believe in the Bible, in their words, quote, only as much as it is translated correctly, end quote. And what parts do they believe were translated incorrectly? Well, the parts that disagree with their elevated book, the Book of Mormon. Jehovah's Witnesses, they will say they believe the Bible, but then what they will do is they will blatantly change, clearly, obviously change verses that talk about Jesus' divinity, such as John 1, which they will change, such as Hebrews 1:6 and Hebrews 1:8, they will change. Why this strong pattern? Why don't these Christian offshoots ever elevate Jesus, ever elevate the Bible, ever elevate the Trinity? They always reduce it. And I think that's exactly what John is talking about when he talks about false spirits that have gone out into the world. These are what I'm describing. That's what he was describing. And thankfully, we have the true measuring line. We have a source of truth directly from God. We have a source of truth that elevates Jesus, that elevates the Bible, that elevates the Trinity to be what they are. One of the reasons Christianity is better and more true than these other groups is because Christianity makes God maximally great. These other groups, I'll name them again, Jehovah's Witnesses, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and Islam, they will not make Jesus and not make God maximally great. They will reduce him to a lower view than the biblical Christian view. Someone might say, well, isn't that what Christianity has done with Judaism? You've taken Judaism and made that the first chapter of your book, and now you've added onto it. You've added Jesus. You've added the Trinity. You've added these other things that are not there in the Old Testament, that were not there in Judaism. Aren't Christians doing the same things to Jews that those other groups will do to Christians? That's a great point, and it's worth addressing. One of the big differences is that Judaism is asking for a sequel, not a sequel, that's the wrong term, a fulfillment. Baked into Judaism, of course, is the idea of the Messiah. It's something longed for, something prophesied 200-300 times, I believe, in the Old Testament, roughly that many. And so Christianity gives you that. It gives you that fulfillment. What Judaism prophesied and foretold and said would happen, Jesus makes known to us, the church. So I thank God that we believe in a God and a Jesus and a Bible and a Trinity that is maximally great.